Let's be clear about one thing. Race is a social construct. And a social construct, and I'm going to read this to make sure I get it right, is a concept or perception based on the collective views developed and maintained by a society or social group, as opposed to existing inherently or naturally. In other words, it's a belief or concept that was made up out of thin air, right? It was invented. Right? So this is what we're going to do. We're going to rewrite some history, okay? And we're going to go back in time and we're going to flip the script. In our minds, we're going to go back to reconstruct our entire history of racism and discrimination against blacks. From slavery to Jim Crow to mass incarceration to bans on voting to lynching to educational discrimination, medical sterilization, and the countless other ways in which blacks have been discriminated against for over 400 years, right? And we're going to replay all of these events, but we're going to change one thing. We're going to change one part about that social construct. Rather than blacks being considered the inferior race and subject to these abhorrent practices, let's use an alternative social construct. Let's cast whites as the inferior race and blacks with all the power, privilege, and resources to write all the rules. Let's look back on that history through the lens of this different social construct and relive every lynching, beating, unwarranted arrest, unjust prison sentence, and discriminatory policy. And rather than a black person being on the receiving end of those brutal and discriminatory practices, let's imagine in our new social construct that it's the white person on the receiving end. Let's imagine walking a few miles in the shoes of Black Americans. So this begs the question. If in fact we had to walk a mile in a black person's shoes, what would us old white dudes think? How would we feel? How would we react? What would we do? Ponder that.